the Sharks bit you. Sharks, Sharks, forever. Go out and play without fear. Now's the time to see good football, for the Sharks are here.
Hey there, welcome to SharkCast, a podcast dedicated to the sometimes greatest team in the history of the world, the sometimes mighty Cronulla Sharks. Boy, oh boy, we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to get to it. My name is Sam Shinazzi. I'm an OG from 2015. I've been watching this team for a long time. And we got the 2 points tonight. We're going to talk about what that means and everything else that went along with tonight. A real lackluster, in a lot of ways, poor performance. This show is brought to you by Dyson Logistics, the Royal Motor Yacht Club in Port Hacking, and Jason Hawes from Cripps and Cripps Real Estate. We're getting some comments in. I'm going to put them up. Keep them clean. I don't care how negative they are, but keep them clean. Sharks win. We won. It doesn't feel like it, but we won. 14 points to 12. We're going to be joined by some SharkCast regulars, and if you want to jump on in, there's a link there to come on. Now, say what you want. Please, no swearing. And if you're going to talk about the refereeing, keep it above the line, please. Sharks win. 14-12. I want to get to that stat right now. Tackled the opposition half, 106 to 22. Oh, there's a lot there. You guys are going to hate me. There's some good stuff out there. Defensively, pretty good. Hey, we turned up. We won the game. We're in 7th place, I think. It's I'm kind of lost for words, actually. And not because I'm holding back what I'm saying. I was just really confused by that performance. I thought our back rowers and the lock were pretty good. I'm pretty confused by some of the guys in the back line. I thought the halves were way off. I like how they kept peppering Tyrone Munro. It worked in the end. You know what? I don't do this very often. South Sydney, congratulations. Like, great defense. I know we didn't throw a whole lot at you, and we'll get to that as well. But I thought, yeah, South Sydney played great. Nathan says a win that feels like a loss. Nobody can come in here and think that was a good performance. It was dreadful. No, I don't think anyone's going to come on and say that, Nathan. When I say there was some good stuff in there, I'm talking real minimal stuff, and a couple of guys we might point out. I thought Teague Wilton was really great, for example. But no, Nathan, no one's going to come here and say that was good. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Stick around. We're going to have some fun. We're going to be serious, but we're also going to keep it listenable and enjoyable as far as a podcast live stream goes. So don't go anywhere, please. I'm going to bring in my friend Steve, and Steve's going to be very careful what he says, but he can be as negative as you want. But you know what? I challenge you to find a positive too. Here he comes. Steve, how are you, my friend?
I'll give you the positive, Sam. As Brad Gilbert says, win ugly. That's what he used to say to
Hey.
Andre Agassi. Those were the games where Agassi would lose. You know, an easy opponent, bundled out, win ugly. You know, I'll always take 14-12 over 48-46.
Yeah.
That's the type of game Belandis can sell to the US. Grind.
Now
That was strangle
let's-
the opposition.
let's take a step back and give me a short answer. How are you? How are you going in life? Are you well?
Yeah, I'm going well. Yeah, I'm always going
right.
well, Sam.
That's good.
A few more weeks, I'll tick another box, mate. So that's the key, mate. You know what I'm talking about. So
I do.
yeah.
So okay, tell me about tonight.
Yeah, it was scrappy. We didn't throw really anything at them.
No.
We rolled downfield, and then there was nothing. You know, it was just like, I don't know what we were playing at. It was like they thought they were going to win. You could tell they had that attitude going out there. There was not that upbeat. We weren't running like full strength. It was like we were just going, okay, these guys will tire eventually and we'll get the win. And
which they did.
We did. And I mean, their try in the first half was a complete blunder from the referee. She is nowhere near first grade standard.
Agree, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, and the commentators are very careful not to rip because that was not a charge down by Teague Wilton. It was more we just went through the motions. It was just a grind. It's the type of game that would put you to sleep. If you needed to get to sleep, that was the game you're going to put on. You know, that's the game. It's not the type of game you want to say. If you've got a little kid and go, look, hey, it's the time you want to watch the Sharks. You're not going to be able to sell them a uniform after that.
So it's funny you say that, Steve. We welcome Gary Dover to the show, of course. I've got a little kid, as you know, and he was sitting. He actually occupied the main TV because he was doing some gaming and that kind of stuff. I was like, okay, all right. And so I watched on a smaller screen near him, and he every now and then he'd ask me how they're going. I was like, I think we're going to win. I can't guarantee it. And I said, but aside from that, we're not playing very well, and it's not much fun, and you're probably having more fun in gaming. Who did you like out there, Steve?
Oh, it's hard to. It was really Billy Burns. I think he went well again. I mean, considering what he's on, I mean, he played Blake Braley, but Blake didn't get out as much from dummy half. I would have said him. Kennedy went okay at fullback. There was nothing wrong there, bar that mistake towards the end where he touched the ball when Jack White wasn't a 40-20. But outside of that, it was and Jesse Colquhoun when he came on, he was offering something a bit different. But outside of that, and However Peru's stint, which was short, but he added a bit of a different dimension, and he might well have to play next week, depending on what the situation with Talakai and Rudolph's definitely ruled out. But outside of that, it was just a grind. It was like watching about 1985 game. That's what it reminded me of. In the 1985, go through the motions. And when they were saying it's 2-2, that's what they used to be. They used to be like that. And you just had to sit there and wait and wait and wait.
Now, we do want to encourage people to call in. We've got some people waiting. We're going to keep Steve on for a while, just for a little while, because he's our man and he's the first one in. But everyone who's waiting for us, please don't go anywhere. And if you want to dial in, please do so. I thought, Gary, tonight it looked like they were scared to try too much. It was like they were told to just do your completions. They completed pretty good. Play down the other end. They did that. A lot of the trickery wasn't there. Even when they were down to 12 men in opposition, they were still kicking the ball. They weren't going through the hands. It looked like very safety first football.
Yeah, I was going to say safe is probably the word. It looked like they were not trying to do too much and not trying to stuff too much up. There wasn't too many errors, which was nice to see. And yeah, in that first 20 to start the game, like we were completing at about 92%, I think it was. So yeah, to see those completion rates up there was really nice. I thought Oggy had some really nice runs. I thought he was a powerful middle today. I thought he's, been a bit touch and go throughout the season, but I thought he had a pretty good run and he was bringing that offload back a little bit. But yeah, as you guys mentioned,
I think forwards, Gary, I think forwards wise, it was fine. I think it was a halves and backline kind of thing where the attack just didn't click. And I don't know why. And again, maybe it wasn't, I don't want to say this I don't want this to sound like it's going to sound, but maybe they weren't trying to click like they sometimes do. It was more just, we need to win. It doesn't really matter how we win. Let's just get the win. And it looked like they were trying not to do too much with the ball.
It almost looked like they just expected more to happen, even though they weren't trying too much, if that made sense. Like, it was almost like they took it a bit lightly in a sense. And I don't think they did. I'm not saying that for 1 second, but I just think we could have thrown a lot more at them and we didn't.
Yeah. What else you got for us, Steve?
What I got from it, I think Gary's right. I think we went through those motions early on and we didn't throw a lot. I think we were waiting for them just to concede an early try. You know, if they conceded one early try after 5 minutes, you know, their form was going to be they would concede again and again and again. But they didn't concede. And then you know what it's like, especially when you're the underdog, you're hanging in there, you're hanging in there, you're hanging in there. All of a sudden your confidence starts to build and build, and you get to that tackle where you wouldn't have made. The one good thing, what we did do, was, which we're not normally like that, we kept going back to Munro. You know, he was struggling on the wing to take this. And that's one good thing. Our bombs kept going back there. And we know what we're like. We can exploit an area and then we go, let's go right all night or left all night. And then we never go back. This time, at least, we stuck to a game plan and they didn't know what to do. And that's what was, I think, assisting us in them not getting to the halfway line, because they were coming out from 5 to 10 meters out of their goal line in the corner. So they're burning one tackle is on the ground, second to third, just to the 10. So they're only getting to that 30 to 40 before they put a kick in. So that tactic at least worked because we found a weakness and we kept going back. So that's probably, out of the whole game, the biggest positive, that game plan worked. And that's what you've got to, I mean, that's not to finals level, but in a finals, if you can find a weakness, you've got to keep going back to it. But us dropping the ball constantly near those tries, like we probably bombed 3 tries, but I mean, I think we just waited, and Gary's right. I think we were just waiting for that early concede. And if they would have conceded early, we all know it would have happened. You know, they probably just would have not turned up, because they had a lot of players in there. You don't even know who they are. You know, when you start to not know who players are, you know, you're really getting through the depth of and we've had that before ourselves. But, you know, who's Ryan Gray? We know Jai Gray. You know, the kid that come on.
The kid at the end was like 12 years old.
Yeah, well, they pulled Dodd. I mean, that goes to show how far the pecking order he's down for, what, 700 grand?
Yeah, that was interesting, wasn't it? Right at the end, it was like the game's still hanging there and they took him off. We welcome Josh Bolling to the show. How you going, Josh? We got you. Maybe come back to us, Josh, if you want. You're muted, not sure. Steve, give us a bit more before we let you go. Let me ask you your opinion about something.
Yep.
What do you make of our new centre, CV, Chris Vela? You like him? Too early to tell? Don't like him? What's your thoughts?
Well, it's a bit too early to tell, I would say, because he's played left centre, right centre in 2 weeks. So they've alternated him. I'm not too sure about the speed. Kennedy made that break, and he was sitting on the wing, and he didn't pick him up. He was gone. He was struggling. Now, I would have thought he would have had a lot more speed for someone that age, for someone who's come through. I mean, it's always hard to tell early on. He's got the same thing as every winger or centre that comes into first grade in any team. He loses the yardage battle early on, and that's normal. Yeah, you know, it's like it's happened to Stone Street. You can pick any team unless the guy is a complete standout. Doesn't matter what team you put them in, they lose that battle. It's like next year where you would expect he used to hold his ground, and then 2027 he starts making ground. It's like a 3-season format. But it's hard to tell. Doesn't help changing sides after 1 week either. But at least I suppose, it gives us a bit more in case there is an issue come finals if Eero's not back.
Yeah, it's definitely definitely good for the team, good for him. I think it's too early to tell, but a bunch of us, and certainly a bunch of us on screen now, heard some of my messages about that particular play that you said, Steve. I was like, what's going on there? All I can think of is maybe he was winded or injured or something, because he's faster than that. So, and again, I'm not going to just define his game on that moment, but early days. Hey, thanks for calling in first, Steve. Really appreciate you. We're going to move on
No
to
dramas.
another gentleman. But
No dramas, guys.
keep listening, and we'll talk to you soon, my man.
Enjoy the night, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, Steve. Up.
Thanks, Steve.
Now, have we got Josh Bolling there?
I am
Very
here.
quiet. Hey, Joshy. Just
Sorry, the internet was
fix-
struggling there.
fix your camera up for us. I've done this thing where we're going down instead of across. Although actually, I'm going to bring in Kobe now, so maybe it'll be better. Here is Kobe. Sorry to keep you waiting, Kobe.
No, you're all right, mate. How we going, lads?
Kobe is the king of the Udi. And so
Yeah,
Kobe,
he's
this is
love
Gary, this is Josh,
Very
Josh,
nice.
Gary, this is Kobe. Kobe, give us your thoughts on tonight so far. So far, what are you thinking?
Oh, mate, it was a snooze fest. I felt I don't even know if I watched the game. I was asleep. Nah, it was, mate. It was a tough game.
Yeah.
we were in the grind and shit. I have to give it to the Rabbits. Their defense was unbreakable. Like their ticker to stay around and hang in. Yeah, you got to give it to them. But our attack was dreadful. Like that whole first half, we had so much ball up their end and nothing. There's like we had. I still don't think it's forward, but Billy Burns going over got called forward. Nico Hines just missing the mark. It was good for him to get a run around and get over the young boy, the Rabbits player. I can't remember his name, but he made a good try save of the Rabbits player, and we just, I don't know, we missed the mark in my opinion. It was terrible.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because like we desperately needed the 2 points. At this time of the year, you are looking at for and against, and it's like, okay, they won by 2 points in the end, which is, they're lucky there wasn't more time, I think. But
Yeah.
it's one I'm going to struggle with just because it was so one-sided with stats and possession and all that kind of thing, and we just didn't click. And as someone here said, who was it? Terry said, you're not going to remember this game come October. Well, you probably will for the wrong reasons, but I understand what you're saying. Just a really odd game. Like where I know that our fans and us, we can be critical of the team this year, but we're not usually that off in attack. So I have to credit, like Kobe said, the South's defense was pretty good. I know, Josh, you were talking them up. What did you think of South, Josh?
I thought they were heroic. I thought with all the players they had out and everything going against them in that game, like every call went against them, and like a couple of four plug, they could not get out of their end, and to hold us to 14 points and probably honestly deserve to win the game. I thought they were. You'd be really proud to be a South fan right now, and then they lost, so it's a weird one.
It is a weird one. Thanks to everyone for the messages. We're putting them up. We're going to talk about some when we can. Matt says, Pox and all you pundits tipping us to win by 30 before this one. And thankfully, I'm not one of those. So that's not a shot at me, thankfully. But I do now feel bittersweet that we didn't win by more, especially given the game that we just saw. 106 tackles to 22 in the opposition half. Kobe, who did you like out there?
Obviously Blake Brayley. I reckon they did a lot of video on him, and he got shut down. But when he ran, he looked damaging, and he got obviously the try, which he's just building every week. And I'm on that train now. I'm sticking by him through thick and thin now. I actually liked Will Kennedy out there.
Yep.
I thought he had a couple good things. Obviously, the thing at the very end.
It's a bit weird,
yeah. He made good tackles. He made a couple try savers. And Chris Vivella, I think that's how you pronounce his name. His try saver in the corner to stop. I think it was Tyron Munro.
Yeah.
What a play! What a play! Like from where Will Kennedy just stopped someone running on that side of the field, for them to kick it back over, and I don't know if like
so that was
catch up.
That was CV over there stopping that.
Yeah.
Okay,
CV
cool, awesome.
ran all the way over the other side of the field. Oh,
That's
sorry.
great.
basically chased him down and made a stoppage. So it was pretty good.
Okay. Just looking at some of our player stats. I mean, I thought most of our forwards were decent. I thought even the bench was pretty good. I mean, Hamlin Willie made 100 meters off the bench.
That's better.
And I mean, Fanua Blake 160. Kafusi's close to 100. The back rowers are all close to over 100. And guys like Colhoun, about 70, but really powerful. Toby, unfortunately, played limited minutes. He'll be out next week. And we saw Hohepa get some time as well, which was cool. He had a little bit of time out there. Where does this leave us now for you, Kobe? What are you thinking? Does it just move on and improve on that? Obviously, is this going to be an issue moving forward? Because we do have some games coming up where we probably should be winning them as well. Is this going to be a mental thing, or is it an off night? What do you reckon?
I'd love to say it's an off night. Hopefully Fitzy just gives them, I guess. But I reckon we have some, as Blake Brayley actually said, we have heaps of things to look on and be like, wow, we did really well. But then we have other things where we need to be like, how could we do this better? Like, especially our attack. I don't want to talk about it. It was terrible.
But what do you think happened? Was it an off night, or was it? I don't like. How would you, if you had explained to someone what went wrong tonight with the halves and the back line, how would you define it?
Didn't connect. I think that's your word there. We were trying to get in, nothing. This and plus the line speed kind of caught us out. Like, I felt like we had no time to think of what we're doing. Like, especially, our first try in Ronaldo on the corner, fast ball movement, we're in because of the line speed that the Rabbits were producing. As soon as we got, as soon as we kind of got shut down by the Rabbits line speed, that was kind of it for our attack. It was, just quick ball movement.
So Daniel's left a comment, and thanks to everyone who has left comments. We're chucking them up, and we're talking about the ones we can when we can. Daniel said, I thought scoreline aside, we were great tonight. Stats destroyed them, and not exactly at full strength either. Credit to the Bunnies for the defense, but we killed them. So that's a different take from Daniel. And I don't necessarily agree with that side of things, but when I'm looking at it down the line, I don't think we played terrible. I just think the attack was way, 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 way off. I think as far as meters and as far as defense and that kind of thing, I think we were fine, more than fine. It's unfortunate, though, you spend so much time down on the other end and you come away with 2 tries. So that's definitely something to work on. But I do see Daniel's side of things, but I'm not that up on the performance. Just 20 minutes after the game, I'm still a little bit kind of confused by it all. Kobe, what else you got for us before we let you go?
Not much.
Not much?
Look on for next week, I guess.
Let me ask you, how are you? How's your week? How are you going? Everything cool?
Yeah, no, it was good. Good day, good week at work. And I was keen for the weekend and then got to watch that performance, and now I'm time for bed.
Yeah, well, you got the 2 points. You can tuck those under the pillow. You got the 2 points.
That is something I have to be happy about, but
absolutely.
I would have loved to put some points on them.
Absolutely. Hey, keep listening on wherever you're going to listen to, and we appreciate you, and we'll talk to you soon, all right?
100%. Take it easy, lads. Up the
Thanks,
Sharkies.
Kobe. Up the Sharkies.
Thanks, Kobe.
All right, lads, we're back. A lot of messages to get through. Josh, you want to talk some more about what you saw out there, please?
Yeah, I was like the thing with the stats and stuff. That Daniel said earlier is just my thing is that we were gifted all of that. Like like we had 10 penalties to their 2. We had 5-6 against to their 1. Like, that's why we dominated in the stats, because Souths were not giving it themselves, or the ref was giving them a chance. I mean, if we'd copped that refereeing performance against us, I would be absolutely livid. Like, I think we were handed that game and we still couldn't make anything of it.
But when you say handed it, do you think some of the things were not deserved, or was it just their sort of discipline or whatever?
I think there was a piece of that, but we got some really lucky calls at the same time. Okay. I thought some things I was like, gee, that is not a penalty, or that was, not forward. There was a couple of forward passes they got called on that I didn't think, just like everything went our way in this game, and we still scraped by. And like they went down there, and I think they had like 7 tackles in our 20 for the entire game and scored 2 tries. I think that's the most disappointing thing. We had no reason to be tired and no reason to not be able to defend a really, decimated South side, and we couldn't. We had to hold on for one set at the end there, and we couldn't. Like, that was the most disappointing thing for me. Yeah.
Gary, how are you feeling after the performance?
Bit better than Josh by the sounds of things.
Yeah, that's good.
No, I agree with a lot of what he said, for sure. And at the end of the day, 2 points is 2 points, and no matter how we get them, I'm always happy when we get them. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that came out of that game that we need to work on, which is probably the most disappointing thing. And yeah, like as we've been talking about, to have 40 odd more plays inside their 20 compared to them, like to not get points out of that is a joke. So, we lacked a bit of leadership out there. I think it didn't seem like there was a person trying to take the bull by the horns and run the show. And yeah, we didn't make some of the errors we usually make in attack, which was nice. But yeah, we worked hard in defense, but there was nothing that was too over the top flashy that I loved to see. I'm just glad we got away with the 2 points.
The halves were quite busy. They just didn't kind of get it right. I can't lack the effort or the they tried, but it just wasn't happening. I was going to say, boys, this reminded me tonight that it's going to be 1 week at a time from here on out. It's not like we can look at all the ladder predictors and whatever else, but it's really 1 week at a time. Now it's all about the Cowboys at home, right? Because knowing that we can put up these sort of performances where, okay, get the job done, but it wasn't exactly beautiful. There was a chance we could have lost. At various points tonight, there was a chance we could have lost. I didn't sort of feel like we were ever going to, but the realistic look at it is we won by 2 and we could have lost. So I'm now just going week by week. I'm not looking at the Dragons in 2 weeks or whatever. I'm looking at Cowboys next week, and that is it. We're going down there, we get the win, and then you move on. And then when we get to the finals, touch wood, however high we land, then it's still 1 week at a time, but at least you can just sort of look at it and go, okay, it's probably sudden death, or more than likely going to be sudden death. Go out and win, go out and play your best, do your best, whatever. But there is no way we can look at this side now and go, well, we've got 6 games left, we're going to win 5, maybe. It's like, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, because for sure. And there was a lot of like
tonight they didn't sort of fall over and get stage fright or anything, but they just didn't get the job done except for the most important part of it. But the rest of it was, sorry, go ahead, Gary. I interrupt you.
No, you're right. I was just going to say, like, there was actually a lot of change so close to the game. Like, Sipper woke up this morning sick and decided not to play. Chris hadn't trained that side of the field all week. He was obviously filling in for Jesse. Like,
it's a good point.
To then wake up and suddenly you're playing. Then Toby gets knocked out when he first comes on. You've got Hohepa coming in, who probably thought he wasn't going to take the field. Our rotation stuffed up through the middle there. AFB's going up the tunnel. Like, there's a few things that happened that might have rattled the rotation and everything that's going on there. Yeah, Billy Burns as well. Yeah, so
that's fair.
I feel like that's where we went, all right, hang on a sec, guys. Let's just play this safe. Let's just get through our sets, complete our sets, and try and get points on the back of that. But we didn't get the points, which was the biggest disappointing thing.
So super safe, and I'm totally cool with that because I got the win. I guess what kind of flips the super safe stuff is when you look at it and go, they had so much possession in the opposition half, opposition 20. That's when you go, even though you're super safe, you should probably win by 3 or 4 tries or whatever. Absolutely. That's when that kind of argument kind of comes in. Buckwheat says superficial attack. Go ahead, Josh. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, what I think South did really well was shutting down our time and space. You could see that they were really jamming Nico and Trindle all night and not giving them any chance to make a play. And you saw that with, Trindle dumbing and running so many times because he wasn't gifted any time or space or opportunity to create anything for his outside men. And we saw Trindle with those runs and just getting slammed, dropping it a few times. Same thing with Nico, jamming him from the inside when he's trying to get on the outside and dropping the ball or passing it to the ground. Like, I think South did a really good job on that. When the last few weeks, Nico's been afforded a lot of time and space and been able to pick and choose his moments. So I think they did their homework on how to stifle our attack. And it did look, as the person before just said, like, it looked predictable and looked really passive. And they were trying, like, I'm not knocking that. Like, they were trying different set plays, and they were, kicks were really good and being chased hard, but it felt really lackluster.
So they completed 83%, which is more than South. So 38 of 46. They had 46 sets. 38 they completed. We missed 17 tackles. I mean, that's, even against a team that's so decimated, I still like that kind of stuff. Shout out to Phil. He's coming down to Shark Park next week from the Gold Coast. He's pretty pumped, so that's exciting. So hopefully if you see us around, give us a bit of a shout out. Liam says it looks like we're playing in pouring rain, which I think is what Steve was harking back to before about the 80s kind of vibe. LJ Rowe says Brayley a little bit quiet than compared to the last couple of games. I think he was heavily targeted. I think he didn't want to overstep his mark. He is the man of the hour, and they did a pretty good job. What I was going to say, boys, was that was classic Wayne Bennett. Like, we've been watching him all our lives. That was Wayne Bennett 101. Boys, we're coming last. No one expects us to win. Some kids in number 17 would never know who he is. We pulled him out of Gosford train station. Let's go win the game. Like, that was, and they obviously didn't try much. He was just like, tuck it under, keep it tight. And then when it comes down to the 78th minute, you're in it with it, with one shot to go. So a very well coached team, Wayne Bennett. I mean, Wayne Bennett just, obviously he's the master, but that was always going to be a worry. I'm going to jump over to the Insta because I always forget to do that. Hello to everyone on the Insta. There's lots of people over there. Hello. The Shark Report, who did a great job, said, "What are we thinking?" Well, hopefully you know what we're thinking now. Hello to everyone on the Insta. Matt says that was not a great game for an advertisement for rugby league, which I completely agree with. Locke says that was so close. Nilo says they find a way to make it stressful, which I was basically saying as well. Hello to Joel and Fletch who are watching. You should guys be sleeping because you got shows to do. But Nilio says, is it Neil? Nilio says a win is a win. Our friend Ash from All Things Cronulla Sharks, in a weekend of upsets, let's take the 2 points. No injuries, no players in report, 3 wins on the trot. Hopefully there's no injuries, hopefully. Hello to everyone there. Well, Toby will be out next week, but we do think that Tall Tom will be close. We think he's going to be close. We're not prepared to say he's going to play, but we're prepared to say he's very close. Matt says the bunker died tonight. That might be something to do with the last thing. Maz also says, Mazdad says Belinda Sharp is not a first grade referee, which after tonight I agree with. I thought there was a point where she lost the tackle count. That was kind of bad. Andy says we got the 2, but that's all. Our halves didn't do anything good in attack. Fitzy let them get complacent. We need to move him on and sign Hannay before the Titans do. Well, Andy, I don't know. I thought that. I mean, Steve said they came out and they looked a little bit like they were going to win, like they thought they were going to win. They were flat. I didn't see that in the first half. I don't know what I saw, but it wasn't that. And I don't think we're going to move on Fitzy, Andy, but appreciate you writing in. B-Rad says we keep flogging the dead horse game plan. Lenny Boo says we're doing this now. Imagine this in the finals against the Panthers or Storm. We'll get absolutely dominated. Well, hopefully we lift. Hopefully. Jay says attack was a snooze fest. And we missed Talakai, which I absolutely agree with. Neil says have a good one. Thank you very much. And there's lots of people on here. Hello to Riley Pollard. Riley Pollard's watching. He's a rising star. John says good for the all for and against. with a smiley face or something, some sort of face going. Yep. Appreciate that, John. Greasy Smitty said, took them lightly like always. I don't know if that was the case. Hey, I know that's going to be the big talking point tonight. We took them lightly. I just think they were just not willing to back down. There's a big difference there. Jay with the day nighttime stats says our second Saturday night win in our last 8 games. So happy times. And that's what's going on over there. Hello to everyone on Insta. Keep leaving the messages. We'll keep getting to them. Josh, let me go to you. Who was your standout player tonight? Or one of a few?
I thought Teague was really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he has been most of the year, but I think he was a real leader in action tonight. Not necessarily saying that he was the leader out there, but I thought he took it upon himself to try and put on a couple of shots and shut down plays. I thought he just kept running all night.
Start of the second half, he was really fired up.
He was really fired up. And I thought AFB, again, was really, really strong. Well, like, I think that was a bit of a bounce back game for him. Not to say he's been poor the last few weeks, just probably he'd been handled a little better. And I'm sure he's carrying something as well. I don't think he's 100%
look like that
whatsoever. Yeah. But I thought it was a weaker South middle. So I thought he was able to dominate them a little better. But outside of that, I thought Sione was okay. His stats read good. Ronnie had a bit of a bounce back game too. I thought he's been a little up and down for me probably the last month or two. But I thought he was really strong tonight, created a lot of chances and scored a really good try. And outside of that, no one really stood out. I think Jesse Colquhoun was okay. He's not getting enough minutes for me. I think he could play another 10. But he looks really good when he's on.
I thought we bombed some tries. There was the CV forward pass. There was a couple of Jesse Ramien no catch and passes to pick on 2 guys. But I thought we left 4 or 5 tries in the tank. So
easy.
Lisa says, what was more deflating, our performance on the hottest 100 or the hottest 100 Australian songs? No Smudge, no Cattle and Cane from the go-betweens. Berlin Chair by You and My was all the way down 81. Now, Lisa, you've got me fired up here because this is more depressing than the Sharks winning a game tonight. I can tell you that. How UMI's Berlin Chair is 81. Woo! Now, I believe, spoilers, In Excess, Never Tear Us Apart. Is that right, Josh? Was number 1?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
That's cool. Whatever. I'm not going to knock that song. But yeah, interesting. But you know what I also thought, Gaz? I thought it just proves we all have different tastes. No one's right. No one's wrong. It's all okay. And the great thing is they're celebrating Australian music, which is a wonderful thing. Right. There were new artists, there were old artists, there were in-between artists. But yeah, Lisa's right. And she knew that she would pick my buttons right there. And well done. You got me fired up. More fired up than the Sharkies.
I hope there was some living end in there. Do you know, Sam, if the living end?
I haven't looked. They would have had to. What was their the first one, the big one? That had to have been in
Roll
there.
On?
No, like the other one. The massive one, Prisoner of Society. They would have had to have been in it.
White Noise.
Yeah. Well, we'll check it out. Maybe we'll do a pod on that at some point. Because no one else will be talking about it. Don't worry about that. Okay. Jackson said, can you tell me why we constantly come out complacent when we oppose the bottom 8 teams? No, I can't. But again, I thought tonight was different. I thought we came up against a team that really, really, really fought hard. You can't say the Sharks didn't try hard or put the effort in. The touches weren't there. It certainly was nowhere near close to silky, but they defended their butts off and played with a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot of heart, but the Sharks, they never let Souths look like they were going to win. I know that was the storyline from the Fox guys. I'm not allowed to talk about that sort of thing, and either of you guys, or you get me fired. But the storyline was obviously, can they, will they? Like, they really sold it so people would keep on watching, and that's fine. That's their job. But I personally wasn't thinking we're going to lose. I think if there was 3 or 4 more minutes, maybe, but there wasn't. So I didn't think we were complacent tonight. I just think the attack was way not where it should have been.
Yeah,
Dave
attack was way off. But like,
go ahead, Gary.
I was just going to say, like, coming into that game with the Titans winning, like the Rabbits are sitting dead last. Like they played like a side who didn't want to get the spoon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they were desperate to defend their line and desperate to make sure we couldn't score points. And
I believe they
was
play.
so off that it just
They play each other in a couple of weeks.
Not good.
They play each other.
So that could be a big one.
I think it's a lot easier to get up when you're the underdog and, like Gary said, like 100%. Wooden spoons on the line and no one's giving us a chance. We've got no players. Like that is easy to get up for, as opposed to a team that is expected to win, not too many injuries. Like you can see the difference in our intensity to the last 2 weeks against good sides and the Dolphins and the Roosters. You could see, I think, a massive difference in our attitude and our style and the willingness to make contact, and that wasn't there as anywhere near as much tonight. And I think that's something that Fitzy's going to have to work at, is how you maintain that intensity against the side that you should be belting.
Yeah, because we're coming up against a bunch of them, and I don't think they'll necessarily defend like we saw tonight. But then a team like the Gold Coast Titans, the Cowboys, I guess maybe even the Knights, they have far better attack. So it's going to be a different challenge for us to play those lower teams who can actually score points. So it's not going to be an easy run. When I say not going to be an easy run, like we're playing these teams that we should and hopefully will beat. But yeah, even tonight I came into it, I didn't think it was going to be easy. Like if you thought that we were going to put 30 on them, I mean, maybe those stats now say that we should have, but I wouldn't have thought it was going to be that one-sided with the domination with the ball. So Dave said opposition that can sustain a Russian defense will always be a problem, but we just didn't have an answer to it. That's a worry. That's pretty astute. I like that. Need to work on that. Scott says, are we allergic to a kick in behind a rushing defense? And tonight we certainly were. And I think we definitely, with Trindle and Heitens, prefer to go through the hands. We've seen that. Although what confused me tonight was we were against 12 men and we kicked the ball. It was like, what do you go through the hands? You're doing the opposite. But yeah, it's a good point. Brendan says playing safe, maybe just play by numbers and not risk injuries coming into the finals. Maybe, Fitz. Yeah, maybe. I don't think it was more that. I just think it was possibly a game plan. I think because also Fitzgibbon probably knew what Wayne Bennett was going to coach them to do, was tuck it under, kick on the fifth. Like their completions were really good. So we had to have good completions as well. So when I say play it safe, that's kind of what I'm referring to. Wesley says same every week with the inside balls, the edge forwards. Yeah, I think though our guys kind of suit that style, to be fair. But yeah, obviously you can mix it up. This is interesting from Jackson. I did think about this a little bit. Top four side would put 50 points on the Rabbits. We barely won. Do we think we can go far in the finals? Sorry, when I said that's what I was thinking, I wasn't thinking that. I was thinking if we played like that against a top four team tonight, obviously I think we would have lost because we just couldn't score points. I don't know if anyone would have put 50 points on the Rabbitohs tonight like that. I mean, I'm not suggesting people wouldn't have scored more points. Of course they would have. Like tonight was not good with our attack, but the Rabbitohs turned up. And Jake's got some criticism for people saying sticking to a game plan, being complacent. If you think that, that's delusional. There are 17 players trying to knock us off our game and we held true. That's some strong words. What do you reckon about that, Gary?
Yeah, like I understand where the sentiment comes from for sure. But at the end of the day, like if we want to be challenging those sides come September, we need to do a lot better than we did tonight.
But I think that's, look, I'm not being smart, Gary. I think that's an obvious thought to have, right? Like that's not in dispute what you're saying. Like, yes, 100%. But what Jake is saying, by sticking to a plan and winning by 2 against a team coming last, people think that that's complacency. And I'm somewhere in between.
I'm not sure that we stuck to a plan. I'm not sure we stuck to a plan for 80 minutes, though.
I think we did. I just don't think the plan was like as beautiful as what it should have been. Like the points were not there, but I think the plan. I think it. Yeah, I thought they stuck to a game plan. I did.
And what do you think that game plan was?
Like I said, safety first, play up the other end, hope the points come. the more that we were there, I kept saying to myself, well, they've got to crack, they've got to concede, and they didn't really concede. That's just really good defense, along with some average attack.
Yeah.
Maybe they should have gone away from that. Maybe to your point, Gary, they should have gone away from the plan. I don't know. But
Gary, you seem like you're not convinced on the game plan or
I just feel like it's something. I felt like it wasn't working, so why are we still trying it? And then our whole rotation got thrown out. Players are in positions that they weren't meant to be in yesterday. Like, I don't feel like there was much of a plan for those moments. And the only way to do that is to play safe, which is like, oh, don't do anything, just go play safe.
But that's my point, Gary. That's the plan. I'm not saying it's like a wildly mind-bending game plan. That's my point. My point was everything's going bad. Let's keep it simple.
Yeah, but everything, like, we kept it simple, but still made silly errors, and we still didn't play to our potential. That's the bit that I just don't like.
I just think the playing is plays into their hands of like they're so desperate. They're like, we're just going to defend our backsides off, and the Sharks are not going to throw much at us. They're not throwing any trick shots. It's just spread wide on the fourth, the half dummies, or they play out to the center and they can't pass. Neither of them could pass to their winger or didn't want to. And it took like a Kennedy special tap on to get the first try and that was like the only thing that we actually tried, like a play to put on besides kicking to the winger, hoping that they drop it. Like, it just seemed very pedestrian, which he did, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, look, Josh, I'm not saying it's not pedestrian, and I'm not saying that the game plan's amazing, but I'm saying they stuck to it. I'm not even being smart. They legitimately didn't drift from it, because I think in the back of their minds, they had faith that the D would win or whatever it was, or they didn't have enough offense maybe. But that's what the plan was. And I'm not saying it's going to beat many other teams, but tonight, got the job done.
I just think Ghastly, five more minutes and it doesn't get done.
Maybe. I lean towards that.
Then we'd be sitting here going, that plan didn't work. Why did we play it so safe? Like, if we had thrown it around more and scored more points, we wouldn't have lost. Like, it's a whole different narrative if it's 5 minutes longer. That's
definitely possible. Definitely possible. Definitely. Ghastly 10 says, will Tom be back next week? We think he will be. We're not going to confirm that, but it is trending that way. Chief Brody says, non-fluff, take the win and move on. They stink, but so does my dog. Well, give the dog a bath or something. Just kidding. It's a good point. I use the word stink tonight quite a lot, which I don't usually do. Scott says we're absolutely gassed at the end of the game, even though we had the ball, which explains maybe CV trying to back up Will Kennedy in that run. Yeah, I can't explain that one. This is a great one from Wesley. He says, when you don't know their names, you should win by 60. And I can't really argue with that, to be fair. Lincoln says that Cam Smith has the opinion that teams playing the regular season, how they're going to play in the finals. So I can't wait for a mental switch off against the Storm or the Panthers straight out in the finals. Lincoln's in Melbourne, I think. That's a fair point. I'm always of the belief, unfortunately, that you can't just switch on your form from week 27 to the finals. I'm a big believer you can't. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I tend to agree with Lincoln and Cam there. And let's not forget the last 2 weeks have been really good against better opposition. I'll allow some freaking out, but let's not go completely freaking out, because we did win the game. We're still alive very much.
We're going to get Siffer back. We're going to get Britt back. We're going to get KL back. We're going to get Tom back. Like, there's a few out that are going to help. Like, KL in the centers makes a massive difference.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because we're not going to give you specific dates because we don't have specific dates, but we can tell you that KL Iro is getting closer, and he's looking pretty good at the training that we've seen him do. So he's coming back, and it'll be a couple of weeks before the finals if everything goes to plan. Hazelton, we think, will be back next week. Not confirmed, but we think. Britton will be back next week, right, Gary?
Yeah, he'll be back.
Toby won't be there. We know that.
We can cover
Who else is missing? Anyone else missing? Who's missing? Siffer Talakar will be back.
Siffer will be back, yeah.
So there's
a bit more change there to come.
So Do we know if Big Tuku played today? I think he did, didn't he, for the Jets?
Pretty sure he played in the front row, yeah.
Yeah, so if he keeps playing, he'll be an option should you want to do that. Our friend Adam says, I remember losing like that and hearing how brave we were. Winning and playing like poo, he'll take that any day. That's true. Remember those Ricky Stewart losses? We were so brave. Paul says, poor performance from us, no patience, and blew 4 tries because of it. The last Souths try was a piss take, but the score should have been 30-6. We played stupid, didn't finish off, or played disappointing. A little embarrassing, but got the 2 points. Let's put it behind us. I don't think it was embarrassing. I just think it was not a great attacking performance. There were a lot of things that they did well, highlight reels, Kennedy runs, etc., which were pretty cool. I don't think it was embarrassing. I think that if you look at the numbers, you're like, well, what the hell happened? But, you know, I know you're only as good as your last game, but as I said, we beat the Roosters last week, beat the Dolphins before that. They're probably going to be in the finals. It's not end of world stuff, but it's just a very, very off night. Now, Paul said no patience. I thought at times they were patient, and that goes back to my point about the sticking to the plan. And I felt like they shouldn't have been patient, which I messaged you boys during the game. I was like, they look too safe. So I think they were almost too patient at times. I know what Paul's saying, but I'm flipping that kind of definition of patience and going, there were some times when they really should have like caught and passed and just swung around and done what they usually do. And they didn't do it tonight. And I think, again, they were just trying not to make errors. I think that if you made errors against a team like tonight, a team like South, like when I say errors, like a lot of errors, I think you could have lost the game. I think a lot of teams would have lost tonight playing touch football against South Sydney. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, I think I think a side like the Cowboys would have lost tonight by just throwing cutout balls and like. But in saying that, I think we were always waiting for tackle 4 and 5 to come to fire a shot. Instead of, you know, like sometimes we'd put a play on the second tackle, and that's like what catches teams out. But I felt like we were just inside ball, forward hitting, reset, inside ball, forward reset, then do the big shift and get Trindle or Hines on the edge to put a play on at the end. But that's when the teams are ready for it. I think and that's fine. That's good because you want to put tackles and fatigue into teams. Like that's how you tire them out. And we had so much ball. I think we were like, yeah, let's just pump them in defense, get them tackling, get them tired. And then I kind of forgot to be like, well, not forget, but just like, okay, let's just put a kick in behind on the second. Tee up Will, tell him we're going to put a grub in on the second tackle and dry graze in the line, chip over the top, he scores. Like I think that we're just lacking something like that, just a bit of, and I think that all comes back to playing safe and being scared to make an error because we had so much ball.
The more I think about it, Josh, the more I'm telling myself they were really scared to lose this game. And I think they knew I think they knew it was coming. Maybe not so much the amazing defense, but the Wayne Bennett styled grind them out. And I think that they were just scared to lose, and they should be scared to lose. You can't lose. You couldn't have lost tonight and got away with it. So I think there's a factor there. I think it's the main reason why we played like we played, but so poor in the opposition 20. But that is a factor for me. Jackson says, why are we going for 2 points when only 9 minutes of the game have been played? Go for the try, score the momentum. The shift's completely different. And I agree with that. It was a bit of an interesting take, but then you look at the final score and Fitzy's laughing and going, we did it, or whoever, I shouldn't say Fitzy, whoever, there was a difference. But I understand what you're saying, and I think we all sort of scratched our heads going, is it really going to be a 2-pointer? Let me jump over to the Insta.
Jard's also mentioned that the sideline conversion from Nico was obviously super important as well.
Huge kick.
That's big from Jards, considering he hates his guts. That's a joke, Nico and everyone else. It was a great kick. Great kick.
Well, a good kick.
Finn3 says it was a classic Wayne ambush, which I agree. Oh, Gary Dover's joined the Instagram. Yeah. Shark Cage, who were out in force tonight, said they took, let's take the 2 points and move on. So hello to the Shark Cage folks. My friend Kieran, SharkCast Kieran, who I saw this morning, believe it or not, at Menai at 9 a.m. on a soccer oval. His kid was man of the match, and my kid was my kid should have been man of the match. That's another story. Kieran says the game gave me chills, anxiety vibes. Love you all, especially Gaz. That's kind.
Oh, I love you too.
Finn says we've missed KL. He makes a big difference. Absolutely, Finn, and he'll be back. So just hold tight. Hello to my friend Millie, who's joined. Big Sharks fan, Millie. She loves Nico Hines. Jay said Fitz in the presser. I was talking about the AFB issue being a nip he'd been carrying to the Achilles. Is anyone a doctor? What does that mean? A nip he'd been carrying to the Achilles. Gary, what does that mean?
It's just a little nip that he's been carrying to his Achilles.
Thanks, Gary. Appreciate you.
Absolutely no clue.
This is champagne comedy. Jay said Fitz also said the attack was poor and he wasn't shying away from that, but he was pleased they kept Souths away with dominating field position. That's a pretty good point from the coach, as much as that's going to annoy all of our listeners and viewers. They played down the other end. That was cool. He also said they paid a lot of respect to South. Yes, go ahead.
I feel like as well, if we put 50 on South, people are going to be chiming in saying you only put 50 on a South side that had people with no names. Like, there's two sides to every bloody argument, isn't there? Yeah.
Kieran says, talk about the ref performance. The kick to Wilton's head as he played it was wild. The grounded ball with the elbow between the line was wild. Now, Kieran, we started the show. You're a bit late to the party. We started the show discussing the referee, and we're going to be very honest about the appraisal in the referee's performance, but also we're not going to get too low there for obvious reasons, which I know is going to annoy people. But if I let things go, it's going to get into all sorts of, hell. So the referee was way off, probably not first grade standard from here on in for that referee. My favorite part was when the referee didn't know what tackle count it was. That I found that just extraordinary. But we move on, don't we? I mean, I don't know how that happens when there's like 8 people in the person's ear saying what the tackle is. But anyway, Lyndon says a win's a win. Hey, how'd you go, Gary? Did you get the dub?
No comment.
Oh,
let's leave it there.
Well, the way you were showing me how to pass a ball the other day, I'm not surprised.
Hey, that was perfect. I've been taught by Blake Bradley.
Josh, you should. You were quoting someone else, actually. Josh, you should have seen the bullets he was firing at me from like 2 meters away. I was like, mate. Lyndon says a win's a win, but hold the ball, pass it back, not forward, and take opportunities when they present. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of forward passes from both teams. Conservative football won't win against top teams. That's a great point. Refereeing, wow, getting hit in the head by the ball is playing at the ball and calling 5th on a 4th, then stopping to allow the opposition players to get back to 10. Yeah, look, it was Comedy Central at that point, and I felt for the referee, like no one wants to see anyone in that position, but also, come on. And we know that the referee can do better. We've seen her do better, but tonight, way off, unfortunately. Paul said, Josh is completely wrong here. Everything went our way is a crazy statement. I suggest he goes back and watches that one again. He won't be. His take is well off the mark. Way. Well, that's Paul's opinion. Before you say anything, Josh, I thought that the refereeing was poor for both teams, and I thought both teams got away with stuff. Maybe that's more what Paul's trying to say, but I agree with you, Josh, that we got a lot of what were the penalties? 10-2. That's pretty cool.
10-2 and like 6-1 or something for 6 agains, and
5-1. Yeah,
South dropping the ball at any opportunity they had. I think we were gifted the game, but you're entitled to your opinion, Paul.
Absolutely. And what else have we got here? Oh, our friend Joe at Mr. Paisley's Cafe, of course. He says, got to give a shout out to BHU for over 100 yards off the bench. Yes, we did that. He's got plenty of heat the last couple of weeks. Yes. And I can tell you that, he's been going well at training, and that, Gary, with the GPS and all that kind of stuff. Like he's been training his butt off, so hopefully there's more improvement there.
Yeah, I thought he was good for us. Like obviously when AFB went up the tunnel there, I was a bit concerned. I thought, oh, Braze is going to come on and play a few more minutes here, and we've seen a couple of mistakes from him in the last couple of weeks that have cost us some pretty big field position and big moments. So, you know, when he came on and didn't make those errors, he was running hard, he was tackling hard. I thought he was really good. So, yeah, definitely got to give him a shout out.
Loki from Melbourne said, we're making up the numbers in the comp, which is a fair statement from Loki. Daniel says, it's been a weekend of upsets and luckily we weren't a part of it, which I really agree with.
For sure.
Well, what do we make of Atkinson off the bench? Jackson was a bit critical of him in the comments. What'd you make of Atkinson off the bench tonight?
I don't think he did too much wrong, but I don't think, again, like we were just playing it safe, right? Like he came on and did his job just like everyone else did. And yeah, like he was there and lucky he was there because we were losing blokes left, right and centre.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one because I always go forward, but I mean, yeah. Our friend RCB, the legendary RCB, comes up with the quote of the night. And it harks back to, I don't know what year it was, but any year Shane Flanagan played, aside from 2016, prison ball. It was very prison ball-like. Although both teams are prison ball-like. Now, Mitch also says, RIP to the Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne. So commiseration to all of our Aussie fans out there. And Ghastly 10 said, why has Calhoun been getting lack of minutes lately? I don't think any of us know the answer to that one, but we'll keep in. Do you have an opinion on it, boys? I have no idea why.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I feel like the rotation the last 2 weeks with Britt getting knocked out and going off, and then Toby this week, I just feel like he puts him in his back pocket a little bit, and I don't know why. Like he could come out and play big minutes and he gets the job done. He's good ball playing, like lock, middle, runs hard, can play on an edge, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I'm not sure.
Doesn't miss tackles either. I think he's
Doesn't
missed
miss
like
tackles either,
5 for the year or something. Like it's ridiculous.
He's good.
Now, Michael also says Prisoner Society was mid-40s. What do you think about that, Josh? Too high, too low?
Should have been nearly top 10.
People stop talking about the Triple J thing. We can't do it anymore. And Lisa's fired back saying she absolutely did fire us up. Jacqueline says staying in the grind when the attack is misfiring is the positive.
That's a good positive.
I don't mind that.
Yeah,
I don't mind that from Jacqueline. Thank you. Jesse says Wayne Bennett's side, and exactly Wayne Bennett doesn't want to win the spoon. That's what it's come down to. They defended like that, but I'll take the 2.
Yeah.
This is from Mitch. No data to back it up, which is always a great way to start. But we're the worst team when the opposition has one in the bin. I think that we would like to do better. But I don't know if we're the worst either. I don't know if there is a stat for that. Maybe that'll be a new stat.
I feel like we score more points when we have someone in the bin.
Yeah.
So we should play with 12 players. Sean says Fitz is instilling the grind. Kim says great defense from both teams, except for Ronnie leaving his win for the last try. Jai is ridiculous without him tonight. South lose by heaps. That's Jai Gray, yeah?
Yeah. He was really good.
So he ran for 100 and is that right? 133 meters, 18 runs. Yeah, he was good. 2 line break assists, 1 try assist. Yeah, he's good. Good, very good. Jesse says, what's the deal with Brayley's contract? Is he staying? So Jesse needs to follow SharkCast on Instagram where I declared he's staying. You don't have to follow us on Instagram. He's staying. There's just a bit of a hiccup with the years, but you can take my word for it that he's staying. And I don't think it'll get done anytime soon, unfortunately. I think it's going to be a thing that happens down the track. Gary's smiling. He's got the graphic ready. What, is he signing now? What's going on?
I don't know. I'm just laughing. I went down to training 2 days ago with my camera to take some photos of the boys.
Don't say what he's Don't say what he
No,
said.
no, no.
It's the same thing that
I
meant
was
to
just
him.
joking around with him, and he goes, "I'm on a media ban. I can't talk to you."
Oh, good.
I said, "Mate, you
Good.
just got to sign the contract, and you won't be."
Yeah. He was joking around a bit more serious. Not serious. He said more funny things to me where I was like, you can say it to me, but don't say it to other people. Blake's not going anywhere. And if people tell you he is, it's wrong, but the deal is not done. That is the truth. So it'll have to get done.
Yeah.
But it will get done.
Never gets done on the first
And no, which is another great point. Jackson said, do you remember me from Northies? I'd love to be part of this group. One of your mates from Northies.
So good.
That was just a random. I think it was random night years ago. I was going to say I do remember him. I still have him on Facebook from that night. I think we caught up a couple of times at games. It's classic.
What does this mean? He wants to be part of the group. Jackson,
do you want to get him on call?
SharkCast.
Send us your CV and we'll contemplate it. But
Chris Vaiella.
Just keep watching, Jack. We'll see there. Yeah, the resume. Jackson, keep watching, keep listening. We're probably not going to have any more calls now because I've got to bail. But next game afterwards, give us a call in the links and we'll get you on. But any friend of Josh's from Northies deeply worries me. Kim says coming back into form from Will Kennedy, try saving one-on-one tackles, safe under the high ball, and the mini break with Ronnie. Yeah, I thought Will was pretty good tonight. I can't say what Fitz said there because we're getting a lot of trouble. Jesse said, well, good to hear about Brayley. Fingers crossed. It's sooner rather than later. Yeah, I don't know if it will be. You never know. But at this stage, I think it might take a little while. And Jay says, when we have Talakai, Iro, Hazelton back, we can't have Atkinson in the 7 team. And that's probably correct. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
I don't think we will.
I wouldn't have thought so. Fellas, we're going to wrap, but appreciate you guys jumping on. Thanks to everyone who's tuned in. It's just one of those nights where we can't go all night, unfortunately, but this will be an audio podcast. If you want to listen back to it, you can watch it back on all your platforms once it uploads in 10, 15 minutes as well online. If you missed the start, appreciate the people that jumped on and called in. Appreciate everyone that wrote to us on Instagram and on all the other applications. Hopefully you threw up your message, except for Brendan's last message, which will get me in a lot of trouble. Gary, Josh, it's been a pleasure. Yes. We are down at the NRLW tomorrow, 6:15 p.m. for a cheap plug for them. Playing who are we playing? The West Tigers.
West Tigers, yeah.
So
couple of debutants tomorrow night as well, which will be good.
Yeah, talk about injury crisis. That's NRL Dub Sharks. So stay tuned for that. I don't know if has there been any announcements today at all, Gary, about injuries?
Yeah, they announced our 2 debutants tonight around 6:30. I think it came out on sharks.com.au. But yeah, we've got a couple starting for us tomorrow. One making their NRLW debut, and then Tyler King will make a Sharks debut as well. So yeah, get down there and support the girls. They need a good game.
They need to win, and I think they will. And I think that when they're on, they play a really good brand of footy. So if you can't get down there, you can watch it on your KOs and your Foxes and your 9 affiliates. But if you can get down there, you might see a few of us down there hanging out, doing some stuff. So that's that. Thanks to everyone for tonight. Appreciate it. We got the win. I know it doesn't feel like it, but we are currently, I think, in 7th place and rising. And we'll see what happens. Long way to go. I dare say, or at least hope, the attack will not be like this in weeks to come, if not next week, to be blunt. And it sounds like, from what we heard from reports, that Fitzy really in the presser did not hide away from that. So they know, everyone, the whole world knows. If you saw that game, you know that the attack was off. So a lot to improve on there. We are SharkCast Pod. You can find us wherever you get podcasts. You can watch us on YouTube, which some of you are doing right now. Give us a subscribe, give us a like. It really helps us all out. And we'll talk to you another time. And before I go, Dean's just going to put this message up for our listeners. It says, been missing Josh Bowling. Me too. Josh he's been sick, actually. Barely been able to talk. So, but that's okay. He's back. He's back. And like Kale Hero, our season will be better with Josh Bowling back. And just to please everyone, I'm going to do this as we head out. I'm going to play the song because you know what? We won. It doesn't feel like it, but we won. We'll say goodbye. Up Cronulla. We'll talk to you all soon. And let's go. We got this. Let's go.
Sharks forever. Go out and play without fear. Now's the time to see good football, for the Sharks are here. Sharks forever. Go out and play without fear. Now's the time to see